Let the church say amen.
Amen.
First of all, we give God the honor. We give him the glory, and we give him all of the praises for how worthy he is to be praised through our Lord and our Savior Jesus, who is the Christ. To these ministers of the gospel, to our Bishop Board, to our comfort of the churches, to all our members and friends that are gathered here on this beautiful day that the Lord has made. Truly we glory in his most holy name, for God has blessed our lives. He has continued to smile upon each of us and has given us another chance on this side of the grave. Surely it is not that we have been so good or have lived so righteous that we are here.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
But God is a righteous God.
Yes, he is.
We thank him that he has smiled on us.
Yes,
He has looked beyond our faults.
yes, Lord.
And certainly he has supplied us with not just what we need, but he has supplied us with more than what we need.
Yes, sir.
And I know that we are grateful for what the Lord has done for us and for what he is doing for us right now. I'm trying not to worry you long with a lot of preaching today, but we will be led by the Spirit of God. We desire each of your prayers. Not that we will preach much, but pray that the Spirit will touch each of our hearts. That when we get ready to go down from this place, we can say, yes, that we have been with the Lord. Out of the Gospel according to John. Chapter John. Book of John, chapter 2. John chapter 2. Verse 22. And just a portion of verse 22. John 2, the first part, rather, of verse 22. And here we find these words that when therefore he was risen from the dead. That's all I'm going to read. When therefore he was risen from the dead. I did hear someone say that there is Jerusalem out front. When therefore he was risen from the dead. I want to talk then from these words as I thought that says it all happened around Jerusalem.
Yes, sir.
Precious can rest. It all happened around Jerusalem. It all happened around Jerusalem. Jerusalem is an old historic place. We can take it back to some 4,000 years ago. When King David, took it from a group of people that was called the Jebusite. The historical setting of Jerusalem dates back 1,000 years before the birth of Christ. This was the time when David's son, King Solomon, made Jerusalem the capital of the Israelite tribe.
Yes, sir.
That's been a long
Yes, sir.
time ago. Not only did he make it the capital of the Israelite tribe, but it was there at Jerusalem that King Solomon built a magnificent temple. He built it unto our great Jehovah God. Not only did Solomon build a magnificent temple there at Jerusalem, but he also built palaces for not only himself, but he built them for his wife also. It all happened there at Jerusalem. We thank God for the city
Yes, sir.
of Jerusalem. In 587 BC, Jerusalem was captured by the Babylonian army. And they took control of the city. Jerusalem had to struggle under the pressure of the Babylonians.
Yes, sir.
I think that many of us can remember that the king of Babylon took many of the Jews
Yes, sir.
and carried them down into the city of Babylon. During this time in 587 BC, they burned down this magnificent building, the temple of God. Left nothing standing but the Western Wall that is often referred to in the today's world as the Wailing Wall.
Yes, sir.
Pray with me
Yes, sir.
just for a little while. But in 538 BC, this is when the Assyrian army captured Jerusalem out of the hands of Babylon.
Yes, sir.
Those of us that can remember that King Cyrus, being the king of Assyria, he allowed the Jews that had been carried down into Babylon, he allowed them to return back to the city of Jerusalem,
Yes, sir.
in order that they could rebuild the temple that had been torn down by the Babylonians.
Yes, sir.
Could I get a witness to that?
Yes, sir.
So they went on back and they started rebuilding the temple of God that was there in the city of Jerusalem.
Yes, sir.
By 900 BC, we find that although Solomon had the united Israel tribe, it had divided in half by 900 BC.
Yes, sir.
But we understand that Jerusalem continued to be the capital of Judah.
Yes, sir.
I wish I had somebody that know what we are talking about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We thank God for Jerusalem. And so Jerusalem have gone through some struggles in her lifetime. She had been tied up in war with different countries because they were concerned, they wanted a part of this great holy place that was called by the name of Jerusalem.
Yes, sir.
I believe it was somewhere around 63 BC.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
During this time, Jerusalem had fallen into the hand of the Roman soldier. I know I'm right about it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But yet,
Yes, sir.
the priests and the Pharisees were in charge of the temple.
Yes, sir.
Pray with me
Yes, sir.
just for a little while. That was in 63 BC. But then in 37,
Yes, sir.
in 37 BC, Rome appointed Herod. Y'all don't hear me today. He appointed Herod the Great. I'm thinking that all of us are familiar with Herod the Great. They appointed him the governor,
Yes.
I'm sorry, the king, rather, of Jerusalem.
Yes, sir. Yep.
I think that most of us can remember that this Herod, he went about immediately to rebuild further the temple of God. Although it was already a magnificent building, but Herod worked diligently to make the temple even more magnificent. I think that many of us can relate. When Jesus had been in the temple there at Jerusalem, periodically he would go into the temple
Yes, sir.
and they would give him the scripture. He would stand up and he would read the scripture. Then would he sit down? I'm reminded that on that day when they had finished the service in the temple one day,
Yes, sir.
and on their way out of the temple, the disciples was walking there beside him. And they were walking around him. They were looking at the engraving
Yes, sir.
and the engravings on the wall.
Yes,
The
sir.
wall was quite amazing when they looked at the art work that had been placed into this magnificent building. Those of us that are familiar with this passage of the scripture,
Yes, sir.
that they call Jesus attention to the great handwork that they saw on the wall.
Yes, sir.
Some of us can remember Jesus' response. What did he say? The time is going to come
Yes, sir.
when there will not be one stone left that will not be thrown down. In other words, what the Lord was suggesting not only to the disciples, but he is suggesting it to all churches. He is suggesting to all of mankind.
Yes, sir.
That we are not to let ourselves be caught up in the material
Yes.
part of the church. the songwriter write, I believe in Psalm 69 and 9, when the Lord said, the zeal have eaten up me into my house. What is he talking about? He's telling us not to get wrapped up in the chandelier. He's telling us not to get all wrapped up with the padded pews. But the church house is certainly not a place that we ought to worship. But it is a place that we enter in to worship God. And to give him the glory. And to give him all the praise. Did you not know today that in order to worship God, we got to be able to get out of self. Because God is a Holy Spirit. The Spirit that is in me, the Spirit that is in you, have got to make contact with the Spirit from on high. Could I get a witness? As we think about Easter Sunday morning, I want to tell us that it all happened around Jerusalem. If you will, might hope, look at Luke 2 and let's begin at verse 13. It tells us that the Jews Passover was